All right.
Okay.
You introduced us this time.
All right. What is going on, everybody? This podcast doesn't float, and we have another video to bring you guys today. And this one is all about Minecraft. And Minecraft is something that we haven't talked about yet. And it's actually like the brand new Minecraft update that should be coming this summer. It's gonna be all about caves and cliffs and other things here and there, but mainly caves and cliffs. And there's also been snapshots that have come out recently, so we can finally talk about all these things, because there's finally things that people have shown us how it all works, and so we can finally talk to you guys about exactly what's coming in this brand new
we
update.
can understand. So what this update is really about is obviously the caves and the cliffs. So we're going to be seeing a new, the mountains are being recreated in Minecraft, and the caves are also being recreated in Minecraft. So we're going to be both seeing new cave systems and new mountains. Mountains were never really a biome, they just kind of but now they're going to be
basically, if you
mountainy.
Basically, the only reason why mountains were helpful is if you wanted a llama, or if you wanted gravel, because there's a lot of those things in mountain ranges. But finally, we'll be getting a lot more things.
Yes.
And then caves, it's kind of what Minecraft is all about, right?
It's the name.
They haven't
really done anything with it. It's
So,
just been the squiggly passageways you come across.
So it's gonna be awesome to see a redesign of what Minecraft is all about. So
Absolutely.
pretty exciting stuff.
It's gonna be legitness.
What's legitness?
Okay. So as Tyler said, this is the 1.17 update. At this point, you cannot upgrade older worlds to newer worlds. That probably will change with time. It has with past updates.
Yeah. This one will be a little bit harder though, because basically what you're about to talk about. Keep going, but basically it's gonna be harder.
It will be harder. That's why it's a maybe right now. The general depth of the game will now be going down to -64. It used to go down roughly 64 blocks from sea level. Now it's going down another -64. And
yeah, so
because
Bedrock
of the
was
mountains
at
as
0
well,
before, and then now it's at -64.
yes, and now it's going to -64. Yes, and the sky limit, I don't remember what it was before. Maybe Tyler does.
No.
It's going all the way to. Do you not?
No, I don't.
Who knows? Anyway, the sky limit was high. They've brought it up even more. Now it's 320.
Yep.
Most likely for the mountains.
But either way, people have noticed that the sky limit has gotten higher, so that has to be for a reason, right? So
yes.
And the only thing they're building upwards is mountains. The only other thing that I could see as a reason why is maybe they're just gonna overall raise everything in general. I could see that happening where sea level is suddenly higher than about 64, because that's about what sea level is. I think it's about 64. So they could be raising up the entire thing, and that's why the sky limit has to go up, because they're raising it up even higher to make an even more massive just underground area for mining.
Yes. And so we're first gonna discuss the caves. There's a bunch of upcoming caves and what's gonna be changing in the caves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll discuss the mountains. There's not as much to talk about in the mountains. It's they're gonna be impressive, but that's basically what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the caves, I'm just gonna talk about what I'm gonna talk about first is what Minecraft calls noise caves. Okay, so noise caves fall into two categories. The names are weird. Okay, I'll explain the names as I go. Noise caves fall into two categories. They fall into the cheese caves and spaghetti caves. Now, spaghetti caves are what we've seen in the past. They're like what they say, spaghetti. They loop, they twist around, they move.
They
just
kind
of wherever, but they're really skinny. They're not big tunnels. They're skinny. They're small. And cheese caves are more open. They're the holes in cheese, so they'll be bigger, and they'll let's just be a mess of just connections and connections of caves. And that's just for general. There's obviously new biomes that are entering the cave systems.
Yeah, so spaghetti caves and cheese caves are the main things that all of them are going to fall under. and they're both
Yes.
gonna be in both types of caves, right? So like they can be
Yes.
in, like, the biomes could be in either type of cave, and there could even be like no biome in these caves. Like they're just kind of like the base level caves.
Yeah. And they're actually for these new cave systems, because they're gonna look different, they're gonna feel different. They've changed how mine shafts work. So mine shafts beforehand, they only had to deal with what we had before, which were basically spaghetti caves.
Yeah.
And that's not hard. But because of all this new update, they've redone the mine shafts, so they're able to adapt and overcome like big, deep caverns or oddly shaped caves, so they can fit around those and it just look more clean.
They're gonna actually like be like the right shape instead of staying that square shape that, you know, we've all come to know and, you know, kind of love about Minecraft mine shafts.
Yes.
So yeah, so the first one is going to be Amethyst Caves, right?
Amethyst caves,
All
yes.
right.
And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
they're
gonna be
I
awesome.
don't know, but they will be. But at the same time, I still don't get their purpose. Okay, sure, you can make telescopes with these amethysts that grow in the amethyst caves. They look cool. They're geode shapes, but I don't understand their purpose yet. I don't know how they're like what they're gonna do for us. I mean, like, I hope they do something more than a telescope.
I think crystals will end up doing more in the long run.
Yeah.
But
right now they just kind of feel useless.
Yeah, but telescopes, honestly, I think we're gonna come to love them. Like, I have a feeling that's gonna be one of those really nice things that we're not so sure about right now, but it's just like, yes, I'm so glad that you made this thing. And obviously they think we're gonna come to love them because crystals are the only reason for them. So crystals, as of right now, that's their only purpose. So that one purpose had better be good if they're kind of hard to find, and you know they're gonna be in like these amethyst caves. They're like, you're gonna have to like, are you gonna have to like break the walls to find them? I'm confused about that part. Are you gonna have to like?
So you're just gonna have to like they're just found in caves. So more cheese caves than spaghetti caves, because cheese caves are more open. So you'll be walking through a cave and you'll come across a big dome-shaped, geode shape, and it will be amethyst caves. They're relatively small.
And they've actually created like
a
a lot of new blocks for these amethyst caves, because they like have like an outer level block for like the geode, and they have like a little middle level thing, and then they have like the inner level with all the crystals everywhere, which is kind of cool how they made all these different blocks for this little amethyst cave. And you know, it's definitely a great addition to the Minecraft experience.
And something interesting, I'm not exactly sure if Minecraft has changed this or not, because I watched someone do a playthrough and they were in the amethyst caves. And what I've heard is that you can only mine them with Silk Touch pickaxe, but I watched him mine them with a regular diamond pickaxe. That may just be because they haven't, like, this update hasn't come out yet. We've just been seeing like little segments or like snapshots of what's coming. So they may not have added that Silk Touch only works on them. Addition to the game, but so far what I've watched, people are able to break them with diamond pickaxes.
Yeah, so that would definitely be a cool thing. Like, even if you have to get Silk Touch isn't that hard to get. Like, honestly, as soon as you get an enchanting table, you're bound to run into it at some point.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, like enchanting books that you can find in, you know, mine shafts themselves. You can find Silk Touch pickaxes and like little enchanting books for them. So it won't be that annoying, in my opinion, to get for like the Silk Touch part. It's just that, you know, I personally don't carry around a Silk Touch pickaxe with me when I'm mining, so I'll kind of have to like mark that spot and remember to come back.
Something else that I noticed when I was watching this, when I've been watching videos of people play this game, diamonds don't look that rare anymore, and I'm hoping they change that, because these caverns are huge and they go below 12. So normally you come across these caves and you can find diamonds in them, but it's a lot harder. But because they're so open, you'll go into a cavern and you'll immediately find like 10 diamonds just around you in your reach, which is kind of lame, because it's fun to have diamonds as this, like, you get excited every time.
Yeah.
It started out with him being excited every time he saw diamonds in the videos I've watched, and slowly towards the end they're like, oh, more diamonds.
Yeah.
He did a speed run of the new update. Wadzi, he's a Minecraft YouTuber, and
finally, like,
by the end of it, he had full diamond armor and all diamond tools in a speedrun video. Like,
Oh man,
diamonds
that's
just don't
crazy.
feel rare anymore. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean it'll be nice, but also not nice. But also, honestly, I don't know if it'll be like that depressing just because there's so much more like exciting now. Like diamonds were the excitement of caves now, but now there's like all these new biomes and there's like crystals
Yeah.
obviously, and there's like those spooky guardian things. Like I think that if they do make it like this, maybe like diamonds are no longer the focus of caves, so they can kind of make them easier to find. That way it's just another thing in caves that's just a fun thing to do, but
Yes.
not because there's so many other things people can focus on now other than just diamonds. And like maybe diamonds,
Yeah.
they're thinking will get in the way of that experience of wanting to see all the caves.
It's gonna be interesting to see where diamonds stand in all this.
All right, so
Anyway,
next type of cave.
moving on to the next cave. This is kind of it's a more general cave. This is the Aquifer Cave. They're obviously caves filled with water, and they're independent of water level. But even though they're independent of water level, they can only be found below Y31. So fish can be in this water. It's really cool. If you're under like a tropical biome, the water will change different colors to match the biome above you. So if you're under a swamp, the water will be swampy. Or if you're under like just normal, it'll just be normal watercolor. But
yeah, honestly,
it's gonna be cool. It's cool that they made that addition.
These caves are cool, but they're like my least favorite because like I don't like.
They're gonna be hard to get
in
around.
the water. Like you can mine in the ocean when they made that update, and I've never gone mining in the ocean, and it's for a reason. Is because it's a pain. It's like I can find diamonds not in the ocean. Like maybe I'm stupid, and there's just a ton of diamonds on the ocean floor, but I mean I've like gone there in creative just randomly, and I haven't found any more diamonds than I do in survival mode. So
Yeah.
honestly, I probably will be avoiding these caves unless they add something else that's like really exciting. That's will be a really cool part of them that just makes me just not want to avoid them.
And something about them is you can just use the door technique where you place down a door and you steal oxygen from that. But even then you have to have doors to carry around and you have to worry about that. And that's kind of a pain too. But like, so it's possible, it's feasible, but it's just, I don't know if it's worth it or not to go into these caves when it's even harder to mine in general, when you could just be going into cheese caves, which are relatively the same thing but above water.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah. All right.
And
the final type
moving
of cave
on
is the Lush Cave.
These
and
are
honestly,
the Lush Caves.
These are the coolest ones to me. Like these are like the ones that I'm really looking forward to, just because they're just gonna be so different.
They're adding
than a normal
so
cave.
much for them, and it's gonna feel so much more different from what we've seen in the past from Minecraft.
Yeah, and like the azalea bushes, honestly, are like the coolest part to me. Well, that and like the spore blossom, actually, both of those things, because they're just like completely different things that we've never seen from Minecraft before. Like the azalea bushes are like the cool little bush things that we've always wanted to like, like make.
I know.
Get from Lego. I mean, not from Lego. Why did I say Lego? From
Instead
Minecraft.
of having to use shears on trees, now we get an actual bush that we can use in Minecraft.
Yeah, that actually looks like really cool and definitely be a great thing, not just only for survival mode, but definitely for people who like making really cool builds in creative mode.
Absolutely.
And then the spore blossoms are the same thing, how they're like these really cool gigantic flowers that like have like little drip effects on them that I think
and they
cool.
hang from the ceiling.
Yeah, like honestly, they're pretty cool, and these caves are gonna be awesome.
And my new favorite mob is going to be found in these caves, and that's the axolotl. I wanted an axolotl for Christmas this year. My parents refused. So I'll finally be able to use axolotls in game. And you can actually pick these things up in buckets, and you tame them with tropical fish. It's gonna be really fun to have these in game.
Use now, which is pretty cool. It's definitely great when something that you collect finally has a use. Like it's always weird when Minecraft makes something that's literally useless. Like I've never understood whenever they make something like that. I know. So it's cool to finally get a use for tropical fish.
She's like, why? But
yeah, and then the other thing will be the other two things that are gonna be cool are gonna be the glowberries. Those will definitely be just a fun, nice little thing that will add like a cool ambient effect to the whole Lush Cave area.
Yes.
And the other thing will be
the drip leaves. And these are gonna be used for parkour. in the past, it was that you could crouch and you'd safely build across these. They changed that. Even if you're crouching, they will fall below you now, and they can also be shot with arrows or snowballs to knock you off. And to be held up now, instead of crouching, you use redstone. So if you activate redstone next to them, the drip leaves will stay up.
Yeah, so that's definitely a nice, just like a nice addition. That would just be another fun, epic thing that we've never seen from Minecraft before. That's gonna be in this Lush Cave. Blocks, lightning rods, and telescopes / spyglasses, which is what they're calling them, but we like calling them telescopes. So
because
in your
telescopes is what normal people's call them.
Yeah, and then for the for the mountain update, not much to talk about. There's gonna be snow that you can like collect in a bucket now, that you can fall through, and it turns skeletons into strays.
Maybe use booby traps and stuff.
Yeah, be a fun thing.
Yes, and if skeletons are buried in this, they will in fact turn into strays. It's just an interesting add-on.
Yeah.
There's new freezing damage. If you do fall through these blocks, you will start taking damage.
Yes.
And
so you have to wear like leather in order to not fall through these snow blocks. So it adds an annoying use to leather. and mountain goats.
Yes, like you don't want to be carrying leather around. Anyway, then mountain goats, okay? These are interesting. They are peaceful mobs, but I'm sure you guys have seen they throw people off mountains, right? So they randomly become aggressive. If you hit them, they'll run away from you. But randomly, they will become aggressive.
I like
decide
it 'cause
they don't want you there, and they will hit you off the freaking mountain. I'm really hoping these creatures will become tameable, and we can ride them. It'll make mountain usage easier, or even just taking milk from them.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Like, hopefully we can have like pet goats, and we can,
yeah,
maybe they'll just be another fun thing to add. If you're like a farmer in Minecraft, you'll be able to have like a goat pen, and you can have goats just for fun, because goats. And hopefully they do become tameable, because that'd be a fun thing to have. And then for the last thing, just a little bit that they added to one other part of Minecraft, which isn't like on the big caves and cliffs thing that they have.
Yeah,
is water.
It was the mob boat. Yes. Well, yes, just in general in the water, actually. We have two things to talk about. And one of those is that drowns will now drop copper. In the past, they've dropped gold. And they've switched over to copper. Copper's... Okay, honestly, copper feels like the amethyst caves that we can come across now. It's just...
Amethyst.
It has one, maybe amethyst caves that we come across now. It has a few more uses, but... I just still feel like we need a little bit more from copper. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. To me, it just kind of feels like just another ore. It's like a little more useful than emeralds, but then less useful than all. It's kind of like on redstone level to me. Like, you can make blocks out of it. You can build things with it. You can like make a few things that are useful, and then that's just kind of just how it works. Because honestly, like, I'm just glad that they added copper, because it's just a fun, nice addition. And if you find it, it's obviously not going to be the coolest thing in the world, but the first time we find it, it definitely, will be one of the coolest things in the world.
Yes. He'll be like, let's go, copper.
And the other thing that was added was a mob in the mob boat that for some reason everyone wanted, but no one wanted.
Who knows why?
The glow squid. So yay, we have a squid that can glow, but it doesn't really glow.
But it doesn't really glow.
It just kind of glows. I don't know, like maybe they'll change it, but it doesn't emit very much light, like at all, off of it. It's just barely. It's kind of like
and the other thing about it is that in the trailer, when they were showing there's a glow squid as like one of the mobs, when people were staring at it, their eyes just like, I think as an effect, would become like blurred and sparkly. So people were assuming that these mobs would be able to hypnotize or something. Which would be a really cool effect. But basically they don't. And I think that's where things went wrong. But and the other two mobs were moo blooms and iceologers. Iceologers would have dropped ice on you, and moo blooms would have had some sort of connection with bees. I feel like either of those would have been cooler than a non-glowing
I think a Moo
Squid.
Bloom would have been on about the same level, but I think that more people would have been more excited about a Moo Bloom if they're like those kind of people who like farming like a bunch of just land
Yes.
everywhere. That way they can have like because I think they will add some benefits to farming with like wheat and stuff and flower fields and stuff like that. So basically, that is all that is coming so far that we know about in the Minecraft 1.17 update. And we hope that you enjoyed this video.
For watching.
And if there's any more updates that are exciting enough that we feel the need to talk about, we'll be sure to bring those to you as well. But for now, we just hope that you subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.